Pile 1, thank you for joining me for Pick a Card reading this month. It's JD here. You have chosen the Sage, and it's the wisdom of being devoted and committed. So we've just entered the new lunation of the Taurus moon, Taurus lunation, the second lunation of the astrological year. So we have 13 moons. First moon in Aries season initiates. The second moon in Taurus season stabilizes. So we're looking at relationship themes around how do we stabilize, what we're connected to, and I've picked 3 cards for you for clarity around this from the Medicine Woman Tarot. The wisdom inside of this is absolutely beautiful. So you've chosen three cards. The first one is the Grandfathers, which is the Star card. This is a really beautiful card. It means that whatever relationship you're inquiring about is meant to be. It was and is a gift from the stars. So this is really about taking the wisdom of Aquarius. If you think about Aquarius, even looking at the picture, it's a star being holding a vase, and it's full of information. So if you look at like the grandfather wisdom of the Native American ancestry and the wisdom teachings there from our beautiful elders in Turtle Island, then we're looking at recognizing that there's so much of a bigger picture at play. And when we enter this realm, there are certain relationships, connections that we are meant to have. Things that are aligned or not aligned with our soul GPS, which is like where the different planetary bodies were when you were born, which is like your blueprint, your fingerprint kind of thing. So the relationship that you're inquiring about is of the stars. It's either karmic or a soul mate relationship, or maybe you're inquiring about your child. Maybe you're inquiring about a friend. The wisdom that I want to share with you is that you're being asked to be devoted to what you believe in. You're moving through a really confusing time with this person, the relationship you're inquiring about. We've got the Seeker, which is the High Priestess card, and it's ruled by the moon. So you might actually have, you or the other person is probably going through some time in their life where the unconscious is trying to make itself conscious. Anything that's ruled by the moon in tarot can be very confusing. It can be like you're feeling overwhelmed with emotion, the other person's overwhelmed with emotion. It might be like this experience of really knowing what your shadows are. I've just finished my integrated attachment therapy training. Yay! And it's all about learning how to create secure attachment in self and with others. So in the unconscious, everybody has a relationship shadow. Everyone has a relationship shadow. And what you're walking through right now with this person is yours or the other's relationship shadow. See this woman here. She is looking in the mirror. Well, she's got the mirror, but she's not even looking at it. So maybe it's time to truly look into the mirror. Remember that shadows only exist when there's light. And once we realize that what is being projected by the light is actually what's making the shadow, then we can begin to make friends with what we can see, because it's perception. So my inquiry and invitation for you is What are you perceiving right now that is in between you and the person you're inquiring about? What are you making their actions, words, or non-actions mean? What story are you attaching it to? And when you look into the mirror, how much love can you be? How much devotion can you be? How much of the star ancestors and the guidance of, okay, this person is meant to be here. Maybe we were here for a karmic contract. Maybe we're here for the long game. Maybe we're here to heal together. But I definitely know that we're here to remember love together. So coming back to devotion, what called you into the container of this love? And the outcome card is the Ace of Cups. So there's a new beginning coming depending on how you navigate this particular phase that you're in right now. Your present energy is confusing. Come back to yourself. Come back to emotional mastery. Look at what is your relationship shadow. Some people's relationship shadow is to go into avoidant behavior and just go, okay, that didn't happen, let's move on. Some people avoid even feeling it. Some people get really anxious and have to get close and into proximity and to feel like you're only safe if you're constantly being affirmed or you know where your beloved is. And then some people go into behaviors that are completely left field, and it feels like they're moving away, but what they're actually doing is moving towards freedom. Because some archetypes, some people, a healthy attachment looks like, hey, I'm in self-agency. I'm not making any of the things that you choose to do mean anything about my worthiness. So by knowing the shadow, we then can cast a light on it, make the unconscious conscious, so that we're not being blown around by fate. Yeah? Overall, the message is come back to your heart, stay devoted, find ways to communicate, to find your way through the confusion and the murkiness, and I'm here for you. If you need support, we can do a reading that is absolutely 100% aligned with you and your energy and your partner's energy, or your child or friend or whoever you're inquiring about. It might even be someone in your business. But stay focused on why. Why did you start this? What was your big yes in the beginning? I have a sense that you know there's something meant to be inside of all of this. So I encourage you to come back to that. And when you're not letting your relationship shadow rule you, what else is possible? Because in the future, there is a new beginning there for you, a renewal of this relationship. But it starts with your relationship with yourself. As I said, I'm available for readings. I'll put the link underneath the video. Please like and share, and I'd love to hear what resonated. And yeah, feedback. Bring it to me. So much love. Mwah. Go well. Pile number 2, thank you for being here. For those of you that don't know me, I'm JD. I am your cosmic backup dancer, amongst other amazing things that I have in my medicine bundle, and I'm here to read for you today. So it is the Taurus lunation 2026 right now. These readings are timeless, but for those of us who are tuning in for this timeline, we are on the second day of the lunation of Taurus. And what that means is that we've just come out of Aries season. There are 13 moons in a year, and each lunation has an energy. We begin the astrological year in Aries, fire, initiation. So we've just been through fire, as we know, we can see on the world stage, and you, my friend, from looking at your cards, have been through fire. Good news is there's new things about to come forward. So I want you to know that we're moving into stability. Taurus, stability. It stabilizes what has just happened in Aries season. So Taurus is earth. It's the second sign of the zodiac, and it's the Hierophant in tarot. You've chosen the Hierophant, but your first card is the White Witch. Be the light. I'm just going to move straight into your tarot. So in the past, we have the Three of Swords. This means that the relationship that you have inquired about has either had some kind of rupture, a breakup, or something in your life or your beloveds or friends or partners or client, whoever you're inquiring about, they've been through some kind of heartbreak. Something has hurt them deeply. Maybe the person that you're inquiring about is not able to let go of past stuff, and it just keeps in the relationship. And that might not be stuff about you, but where you're sitting at the present moment is both the shadow and the light aspect of the Hierophant archetype. Now, the Hierophant is an old school word. Basically, it's the priest. So the archetype of the Hierophant is the person who brings information, God's law, rules, and shows us how to be in right relation with God, right? That's old school. That's why I love the Medicine Woman Tarot, because in the Medicine Woman Tarot, the archetype of the Hierophant is the guide. And if we think about a friendly universe, then this archetype of the guide, we know that we no longer have to go to a priest to have a relationship with God or the universe or creator or whatever you believe in, the higher realm. Oh, getting the biggest ringing in my ear. This is good. So we know that where we're sitting in the evolution of humanity is actually that we have a direct line to Creator, that the guidance that you need is within you. And so now when we look at the big picture, the inquiry is about the relationships in your life, right? And your main card is saying be the light. The owl medicine is always about seeing the light in the darkness. This is about you turning the light on, the light of your conscious realm, your mind, how you master your universe. This is about you asking the question, what else is possible here? What guidance do we need? Show me how to be the light that is present when all this old shit is coming up. Because sometimes stuff ruptures in order for us to recreate. Sometimes there has to be a breakdown to break through. So you are at that point right now where the universe is saying, break through. You have a possibility of coming together in harmonious matrimony. However, this was upside down. So you're really at a position right now where coming back to the light and asking for the guidance, maybe you need more information. At the base, in the integrated attachment therapy that I do with couples and individuals, we go right back and we say, okay, where have I misunderstood? Where have I miscomprehended? Maybe there's more to this picture than I realize. Maybe I don't have enough information. Maybe I need more data to truly comprehend the other. So this is the guidance. This is the part where you get to look at the unconscious relationship shadows and the things, the stories, the information, the experiences, and bring it into the light for guidance. Maybe this means that you actually need a guide, and that's what I'm here for. I love working with couples and individuals to help them learn how to have really healthy relationships, because the whole thing here is we have not been taught information that is helpful. Most of us are by default operating out of either anxious or avoidant. We're either disorganized, preoccupied, or completely dismissive. And do you know what every single reactive strategy is? It is a way to get our needs met. So anything that is showing up in your life or somebody else's life that is a dodgy strategy, it's meeting a need. So sometimes we just need some help to find a healthy strategy to meet the same need. Yeah? For example, your partner might be going, we didn't agree to this. Hello, Hierophant. We didn't agree to this like this. This is what we agreed to. Blah, 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 blah. Inside that is a need for a strategy, is a need for certainty, is a need to come back to agreements. And then to soften and go, okay, cool, what else is possible here? So that is that. Now, beyond the doubt about futures is the Two of Cups. It is a happy union. It just depends on how you navigate this next stage, because the Hierophant is in this reading, which means this is something that your soul needs to master. The major arcana in any reading take priority, because it's like a thing that's non-negotiable. Everybody has to walk through different archetypal blueprints in our rite of passage as a human being. So, what else is possible? How much light can you be? How much celebration can you become? And what ways can you create more union, understanding, compassion, to step out of the story, to recognize, yep, hurt people, I'm hurt, they're hurt, I've been taught really dodgy mirrors by society that has literally set us up for codependent relationships. That's another rant that I'm not going to go on, but I just want you to know there's another way, and I'm here for you. If you want to book a deeper reading or just have a chat to see if what I offer is aligned with you, there is a link in the bottom of this. And you can support me by liking, sharing, commenting. Just helps the, the dodgy algorithm thing. Sucks, but I have to ask. Anyway, thank you so much. I really hope that you get to experience the bliss of this Two of Cups, and that the Hierophant that feels harsh turns into the guide that feels soft and beautiful. Because as above, so below, there is a GPS coordinate system within you. You have a unique way to love, you have a unique way to heal, you have unique needs, and everything that you need is available for you. Sometimes it's just about finding the right way to talk about our boundaries, to talk about our needs, to come out of survival and hypervigilance. You know, the Hierophant archetype in relationships can be really misunderstood because it sounds like an ultimatum. So yeah, that's where I can help you turn ultimatums into invitations that invite more connection rather than push away. Go well. I believe in you. You've got this. Card 3. Hi, how are you? It's JD here. Thank you for playing in the pick of the card reading. Today we're going to have a little look at your cards. You've chosen the She-Wolf. This card is basically about breaking out of limitation and boundaries. It says unleash the wild within, and it's not necessarily a gender specific thing. It could be unleashing the feminine within you, or it could be recognizing that there is a feminine in your world who is either calling you out of yourself, out of your limitation, or she may be limiting you. So this is about redefining what boundaries are and asking the question, when you are fully 100% aligned with yourself and your true soul blueprint, what boundaries are you currently living within that are holding you back? Maybe it's rules, maybe it's preconceived ideas of what you need to be at this time in your life, this point in your life. Maybe it's parts of you, that ways of relating, because this is a relationship reading. So maybe it's parts of your family lineage stuff, the ways that you were taught in the society that you were raised in to relate, and this is spilt out into the relationship that you're in right now. So I've chosen tarot, a past, present and future. This is not necessarily an easy reading. You've been through a lot. The relationship foundations have been based on some, and initially it was a feeling of, yes, this is meant to be. And then we can create a partnership came in. And it feels to me, when I look at all the cards in this reading, that someone here has been holding the load, has been maybe showing up with the star. So the star is like a meant to be card. It can be the breaking of illusion and delusion, but it indicates in the past, for me, the way that I read it is that this is a meant to be relationship. It's either karmic, or it is a relationship that's a soulmate connection. It means that the coming together was meant to be. It was written in your map, your intimacy map of life. You were meant to meet this person. And what you're being asked to do is reassess foundations, because you're sitting now at a judgment position. Now, the judgment card in relationship readings indicates like a reckoning. It's in really healthy relating, because I don't believe in ultimatums and I just get rid of them, that whole alpha masculine thing. It's not healthy. And we are at a place, I believe, where humanity is going through a reckoning. We're actually going through a time where it's actually really time for us to stop blaming the other gender or the other, and to start really taking responsibility. So in the past, there was a feeling of holding the load. The Three of Pentacles in a really healthy thing is like, yeah, we're building together. But it's in reverse, right? So somebody here has been overgiving. Somebody in the partnership, or probably both people, are being invited into a place where you are reflecting and really taking stock of where you're in sabotage patterns. Now, I just finished my integrated attachment therapy, and it's been life-changing. And my mentor, T.S. Gibson, says that there is no such thing as sabotage. Now, we all do stuff that is technically sabotages our lives. But all of those pathways are meeting a need on some level. So what I see here in this reading is that a lack of boundaries, or too many boundaries, somebody who is not taking the emotional responsibility seriously, is affecting the relationship. Maybe you're needing more from the relationship. Maybe there is like this whole thing, like judgment is sitting there. It's ruled by Libra. It's the balance card in the Medicine Woman Tarot. So we're sitting here and we're saying, well, if judgment was transformed into discernment, what energy, what is required from both sides of the scale so both of our cups can be full? Instead of judging each other and going into the critical, you're doing this, you're doing that, you didn't do this, 10 years ago you did this, that's created this, I'm getting this amount of time, you're getting this amount of time, the reason I'm using substances is because you blah, blah, blah. The Judgment card is literally either a pathway to destruction or a pathway to repair. And this is where you get to say, what is required for me to be well and thrive? What judgments am I holding that are putting my partner or the person that I'm inquiring about this reading about in a light that may not be the whole story? So often we come from a place where we don't have enough information, and when we're afraid of losing someone because we love them so much, it's easy to start thinking for the other person and not asking the questions because you do not want to trigger them or push them away or seem too much or seem controlling or any of the things. But the she-wolf is at the center of this, and she's saying, hey, you're putting yourself in boundaries and it's time to liberate yourself. Like, what parts of this version of you are no longer aligned with the part of you that created the foundations of the relationship based on overgiving or pretending something didn't happen or brushing it under the carpet of, oh, but this is meant to be. It is meant to be. The stars came together. Like, you've got three major arcana cards. You've got the Star, you've got the Judgment, and then you've got the Fool. So the reason I see a beautiful outcome here is that there's a totally new beginning, but you're going through a rebirth, and what's required is the Father of Pentacles energy. Now look at this glorious stag. What does the stag do? How does the really healthy masculine principle create foundations and boundaries and carve a path forward in a healthy way? Because next to that is new beginnings, is the Fool, is the aspect of, like, the Fool's the first card in the tarot, right? So if we look at this, oh my God, it's meant to be, but I don't know how to ask for what I want, and I am in patterns of overgiving, not working as the harmonious trinity, because there's always three frequencies in one connection. There is you, there is your partner, and there is the connection itself. That is the container that these two pour into, yeah? But when we get into codependent dynamics, what actually happens is the relationship becomes the primary. And both sides lose themselves in pleasing each other or doing what's immediately required to build the foundations for the future or the family, or bring in the money, because this is a Pentacles card. It is about money and practical things, right? So you go, oh my God, it's meant to be. Let's create a dream together. Oops. Now I'm burnt out. Now I'm sitting in judgment. Now I'm like, oh my God, it's reckoning time. I can't continue to go like this. Or the wisdom of the universe stops you in your tracks, and it's time to have a look from a different angle and start to release old patterns that keep you and others stuck, for the other person to release those patterns, to step out of judgment into discernment, and to have conversations that invite more connection. I can help you with that. Most of us have never been taught how to speak a boundary. Especially for an anxious avoidant person, it will be no boundaries until, rah, here's a boundary. No, it's okay. I've got you. No, it's okay. Because what we want, connection. We want to be connected. But then the overgiving happens, and then all of a sudden, the rah moment comes out, where the boundaries are delivered in a really shocking way for the other person who was told yesterday it was okay. Or the anxious person the preoccupied anxious person who has difficulty being peaceful when they're not in proximity with each other. And the strategy is to know everything, and then the other person feels trapped, often anxious and avoidant, or why is my brain going sideways right now? Hello, ADHD. Anxious, preoccupied, disorganized, or anxious avoidant, and dismissive avoidant. So then the dismissive piece comes in and goes, no, there's no problem. We'll be fine. But subconsciously, the person has emotionally withdrawn from the situation. And then the anxious person's like, wait a second, I need more information. I can feel you pulled away. I'm freaking out. And so then the cycle begins again. A healthy relationship, coming back to this trinity here. So healthy relationship, as I said, is two individuals with a beautiful cup in the center that you both get to drink from. There is a codependency triangle that happens by default, and our society in general has been taught a codependent relationship matrix. And it looks like this: rescuer, victim, persecutor. So someone's having a hard day, somebody is the victim. Then the rescuer comes in and goes, wait a second, I can help you. You're amazing, you deserve all the things. Overgiving happens. Yeah? The person who is the victim then is rescued, but because the rescuer or the overgiver has a silent cup of needs, because we all do, every single person under the sun has a cup of needs, and they all fit into 6 categories, which will absolutely blow your mind, but I won't go into them now. Actually, I will. So, connection, love and connection. Certainty, which is like, I need a strategy. I need to know how much money. I need to know when I'm going to see you again. Uncertainty, I need to know that we can mix this up. I need to know that we can just jump in the car and go on an adventure. I need to have the thrill of the chase in our relationship as well. Uncertainty is important. It's adventure, it's novelty, it's all that stuff. Then there is growth, significance, and contribution. So these 6 needs may have all of these other drop-down menus of needs. There's a whole workshop that I'll be holding soon about it to help people have better connection. What I'm coming to is the rescuer often goes into cycles of rescuing because they have a need for connection, to know that they're significant and to know that they can contribute, yeah, and it be appreciated. But often what happens is the person who's just been rescued goes, thanks, that's amazing, I'm going to go off and continue my cycle because I haven't done the work, they've just been rescued. And then what happens is the rescuer turns into the persecutor and goes, but you didn't give me what I wanted, and you're supposed to be a mind reader, and blah, 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 blah. And then they accidentally blow it up and push the person away. And then they go, oh my God, now they become anxious, right? And then they're the victim. So when the rescuer realizes that they haven't received their needs, they then go into a victim story, and then they become the persecutor. And then it just shifts around and around and around. There's someone in one of these positions, yeah? How do we break the cycle? Discernment. Recognizing where we have created a prison all by ourselves, because we're not allowed to ask for what we want. We don't know how to ask for it without rocking the boat and pushing our beloveds away or our friends away. And then the boundary accidentally comes out as an ultimatum, or it doesn't come out at all, and you just become minimalized. So the Father of Pentacles says, okay, inside this pentagram is the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the ether. All of the elements are required to create matter. And everything that is showing up in my reality right now is something that I have thought, spoken, put emotion to, and then created because of all those things. And here it is. So the King of Pentacles says, I created it, I can uncreate it. This might be your father, your actual physical father in this life has taught you some ways of relating that you can change. This might be your physical father who you need to talk to and heal with. Maybe you need a boundary with him. But the good news is that there is a new beginning and a new you coming forward. You are being asked to be very brave, to be willing to be the wild, untamed version of you. That doesn't mean, well, it can be anything. It doesn't mean that you're going to race off today and go and end this relationship. I'm not here to tell you that. I don't actually really believe in that. I think that we can come together with care. I truly believe that every relationship, at the core of all misunderstanding, is a lack of information, misunderstandings, ways that we've told the story that doesn't match the frequency of the other person or yourself, is a bunch of unmet needs and unspoken boundaries and requests. And yes, we might be different. I sense that the person that you've inquired about is very different to you, but that's a beautiful thing. And with curiosity, you can really bring this relationship into a whole new level. If you are struggling and you need help, I would love to help you. You can either book a reading so we can have a really good proper look at what's going on, because whatever you're going through is difficult. Or we can have a cuppa and a chat about how I can help you and your partner, because I do offer intensive programs for couples, and your dreams are there for you to have, to be, to experience. You're doing really well, one step at a time. I hope this reading resonates with you, and yeah, let me know. You can support me by liking and sharing, and just let me know if it landed. If it didn't, maybe check out another pile. Yeah, and please pass it on, share with your friends, and thank you so much for being here and asking the questions. At the end of the day, we got to choose our heart, right? And it's hard to have conversations with our loved ones, especially if there's a fear of losing them. But time and time and time again in my practice, I see people finding ways to communicate and realizing that they can find freedom in relationships, not running away from them or shutting down who they are and ending up burnt out. You have got this. It's the Taurus New Moon. Of course, this is a timeless reading, but Taurus stabilizes after Aries season. We just had Aries season. Aries is the initiator, it's fire, it starts the astrological year. So here we are now in Taurus season, stabilizing, earthing, grounding, coming back to our body, bringing our nervous systems back to peace, especially after all of that crazy uncertainty with old flappy chops on the American throne deciding, like toddlers with bloody warfare weapons and stuff. We just went through all of that, and of course it's still going, but here we are a month later or 2 months later, realizing that we're actually okay. And all that squirreling around in the brain, wow, was it really necessary? Was it really necessary? Because we are okay. And we are in a place in humanity's evolution where the more we lean into community around us, the better we are. The more we create from this benevolent father energy, old mate, the better we are. The more rewilding our internal feminine becomes in her, her. Every male identified individual has a feminine side. I see it every day. I'm so blessed to be around men and to help men to tap into that part of themselves where they can speak emotionally, they can know what their emotional language is. because you guys are amazing. Absolutely love and adore you. And I love you sisters and my beautiful unicorn friends who are popping the neutral, being completely in that space. Yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. So much love. Mwah.